iRockRadio World Headquarters of Rock. We're at Gale Toyota with this month's unsigned artist, Paragon Theorem. Hey guys, what's going on?
What's going?
Hey. What's up?
So we're going to talk a little bit and find out some cool stuff about you. Is that cool?
Yes.
Awesome. So let's start with how'd you guys form?
Well, Josh.
When we were about 14, me and this guy Steve here picked up music together. I played drums, he played guitar. Played a bunch of AC/DC, Aerosmith, Guns N' Roses, Led Zeppelin, anything that was on an old station called CCC. We listened to that a lot.
Never heard of it.
It's a pretty good station.
We stuck with that year after year, formed band after band, and we stuck together and were really the meat of, the bands that we joined and kind of got us here to Paragon Theorem. So 5 years ago, we decided that we needed to make a band that was good, and not only good but great. And we stuck with that, and here we are now with a solid group, and I think a solid group of songs, and that's pretty much in a nutshell where we came from.
So you and Steve are the meat of the band. Where'd you meet the other three gentlemen?
The Potatoes. Yeah, I've actually known them for a very long time, since about 20 years, since preschool, elementary school.
Yep.
And I had been in other bands in the past, and I was kind of in between. They were looking for, a vocalist, so they called me. I came by, and after that first jam session that we had, it seemed like a good fit, so we went from there.
I answered an ad online and got sick of playing covers and thought it'd be fun to make some original music, again. And
Craigslist.
yeah, pretty much. You can find anything on Craigslist.
I think I called you.
Everything,
That's what
pretty much.
happened.
Yeah. So, the rest is history. I think we found iRock on Craigslist too, which is good.
Yep. Craigslist.
And we all just kind of meshed up our styles together, and now it's called Paragon Theorem.
So when you guys first played together, it just you just felt it. It was just there. You guys knew that they weren't Craigslist killers, and they were good to be in the band.
Fister.
Yeah, exactly. We pretty much had songs written, and we had no words to the songs. We just had these songs, and that's kind of how it always went. When Brian came along, he was a grade above us. He always knew who we were, and we always knew who he was. But we kind of reeled him in, and we needed the last pieces because Steve, has a great ability on the guitar, but he needed somebody to back him up and play the rhythm and the little noodle notes that we don't really have time to put in. So Dan filled that gap 100%.
I'm the noodler.
He is.
Yeah.
And Eric,
Yeah.
he came to an audition, and we found him on Craigslist, and he had practiced all of the songs. He nailed every single song first try, and we decided, why would we need to look for anybody else? He's good, and he's a really nice guy.
And he did it on a little 10-inch speaker that was blown.
Yeah. He did.
Which was
impressive.
Who are some of the influences that got you guys into music?
That's a long and diverse list.
Mine's not so long.
Maybe we should just do our
could just
ones?
point to my shirt and tattoo, and I like Breaking Benjamin. Just gonna throw that out there. AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, Led Zeppelin, anybody that was against the system that wanted to let people have a good time and make music. That was me. But
I think we all share a really common core set of influences, but our differences, I think, are what make the music our own, really. So
Yeah.
I have a lot of kind of jazz and kind of funk stuff that I do because I'm a bass player, because that's fun as opposed to just one note at a time.
Yeah, I think, like you said, one of the things that kind of makes us, as we like to think of ourselves, a little bit different is that we all kind of have different influences. I'm a big Incubus guy, and I would go almost as far as to say some R&B influences and that sort of thing. But of course, I love rock and classic rock, and I always listened to WCCC when I was growing up. So I think the mixture of all those things is kind of what makes it sort of unique, You got a mic.
Yeah, I guess I'd say the same exact thing. That was one of the big things that kind of made this interesting, is that we all really like different styles. We're all in the same vein, but a lot of different influences with us, and I'm all over the place. I mean, I can't nail down anything. I listen to, I grew up listening to classic rock. I could listen to classical music and listen to death metal and hardcore. I'm all over the place. I really, yeah, I don't really care. Like, if it's music, there's a mood for every kind of music. So, I can pretty much do anything. But yeah, I think our sound is definitely testament to that. We're all over the place with it, and it's a unique blend. And I'm glad that we all don't like the same exact style, because our music would be a lot more boring. So, this guy though.
Also, I think so. What else is there to say? I mean,
influences.
Yeah.
You got a lot of them, right?
Yeah, there's quite a few. Definitely Randy Rhoads and Eddie Van Halen, and Slash and guys like that, and even all their influences like Uli John Roth and Richie Blackmore and stuff like that. So I mean, we all kind of have different backgrounds, and when we bring it all to the table, it's definitely unique.
So after listing all those bands, who would you guys love to play direct support underneath in a concert?
He's going to say Breaking Benjamin.
I mean, I would love Breaking Benjamin, but any Breaking Benjamin, Alter Bridge.
I'm going to vote for Incubus.
Yeah.
Ooh, I think a lot of us would vote for a band called Carnival.
Yeah.
They're
Alice
from
in
Australia.
Chains. They're always, that would be great.
So what would you guys think the hardest thing about being a band is?
Yeah, time commitment, keeping everything together, being flexible with everyone's schedule. Life events pop up, like having kids and getting married and things like that, and keeping it moving.
Being really
being
poor.
Disciplined, coming to practice,
Right.
paying rent for a place where you need to be loud, where you can't be loud at home, and all that stuff takes work. Everyone's got to put in their fair share, or it just doesn't work and it all falls apart. But we've committed. We've been doing this for 5 years, and I don't see us stopping anytime soon, especially with achievements we're making and the progress we're making. We feel people are hearing our music for the first time, and
Thank you guys.
yeah, thank you for making that possible, and iRockRadio and Mike Caroli, Stephen Wayne.
I think one of the
Amos Prime.
toughest things for a lot of bands, I would say any band, is just getting, especially when it's 5 guys, getting 5 guys who will get along with each other and not want to kill each other, because we spend a lot of time together. I mean, twice a week doesn't seem like a lot of time, but it really is. I mean, it's not like your college roommates, but
It's kind of like
it sort of is.
It's like having 4 girlfriends. The communication's important. You want to make sure that you're, everybody's
is.
happy, and communication's huge in a band.
Yeah, that's
So
that's been one of the toughest things. And speaking from past band experiences, it's always been a bad experience. Whereas I think this time around we all kind of get along really good, which has been good for us. I think we've been more successful in that regard.
That's good. Do you guys have any pre-show rituals that you all do together?
You weren't wearing shoes for a while, right?
Yeah, show up on time. That's one of the rituals that we really like to do. Honestly, though,
Bring our own gear.
yeah, we honestly like to play shows and have everyone share our gear.
Show up 5 minutes before we go.
Yeah, our gear has our logos on it, and we thought it'd be a great idea to, donate our gear for every show that we can put together with other bands, and it allows our logo to stay up on stage longer. And
It also allows you.
That's fair.
yeah, it also makes it easier for the other bands. They don't have to show up and lug all their gear just like we did in the past and stuff. So we don't have a ritual that's weird or anything like that. We try to network with every band. We try to make friends with every band. We try to share all of the music we can with everyone. And that, to us, as long as we reach that connection and we make those friends that night, that's our goal.
You guys are so wonderful.
We have a pre-show rider of only the green and red Skittles, and yeah, I mean, so just certain things like that. Otherwise, we end up just leaving.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I want to know something weird like
Right,
that. That's
right.
great. Only green and red for these guys.
Green and red Skittles, yeah.
Remember that.
We don't have
On
it
stage.
happen.
So, are you the diva of the group?
I
Yes.
Yeah, I suppose so.
It's always the singers or the drummers.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably the one who complains the most. Definitely 100%. I like everything to be, to work out, and you know, I like to think about a lot of stuff. Brian, you know, he's more, he shows up with style every single show. So.
Couple minutes before we go on.
As long as you get those green and red Skittles.
I wait till all the gear is set up, and then I ask if they need any help. You know,
At least you ask.
that sort of thing.
That's not that counts.
So what is next for Paragon Theorem? What are the big plans?
We're actually we're getting ready to embark on album number 3, which is the big deal for us right now. And without going into too much detail, I think that it's gonna be pretty killer. It's gonna be a lot different than what we've done in the past. Working with some new friends, and we're pretty excited about it. I think Eric has more to say than I do.
No.
No.
Although I guess Singularity is the first song off of that album. So
Right.
if you like what you heard on iRockRadio, that the rest of the album will be just as good, better, worse. I don't know. You guys decide.
Yeah, and Singularity actually right now is kind of in its infancy, so I think even Singularity is gonna get a little bit better.
Yeah.
Too. So if it's well received now, which it has been, which we've been really humbled by the fact that iRockRadio and the listeners have liked our song, that's been like the coolest thing ever. So if that's the case, then hopefully they'll like what's coming up next.
So thanks for hanging out with us here at Gale Toyota. Any last words?
Thank you, iRockRadio. Thank you, Mike Crowley. Thank you, Stephen Wayne. Thank you, Anna.
Listen to iRockRadio. Make sure you listen to iRockRadio.
iRockRadio.com.
Thank you.
And thank you.